biggest state-owned entities focused on during the state capture inquiry was PRASA and its parent company, Transnet. We're joined now by the portfolio manager for transport and state capture at the organisation Undoing Tax Abuse, Rudi Heyneke. Rudi, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. There can be no doubt if you go through, I see you've been affected by load shedding like so many, but there can be no doubt as we go through the report of the damage to PRASA, the Commission recommending, in fact, another commission of inquiry into PRASA. Otherwise, they say, PRASA will not recover. That's an astonishing recommendation to make.
Yes, good evening, Stephen. If one look at PRASA, and way back, I think it was in 2016, when the previous board tried to do investigations or let investigations be done by the Werksman's attorneys, those processes were stopped. There are about 270 or 280 investigation reports ready, and it was for the police to act on those and to carry on with the investigations. And at one stage, OUTA was a friend of the court to compel the Hawks to carry on with those investigations. But up until now, nothing has happened, and I think that is why Chief Justice Zondo recommended that PRASA should have its own inquiry.
It would seem almost that he doesn't have confidence in the current management. I mean, is that too strong a term?
Well, if you look at the state of PRASA at the moment, I cannot, disagree with him if he hasn't got any belief and any trust in the current management.
We have all of the recommendations around state capture as a whole. So these are obviously the investigations and the prosecutions that need to be made of certain people, the Guptas, people like Ismail Shule, Arthur Fraser, etc. At this stage, do you believe those prosecutions will happen? If you look at the person of Arthur Fraser, for example, he clearly has immense power and immense resources.
Yes, it is now time for the NPA to step up, and to prosecute without fear and favour and prejudice. So, I think that the NPA will be measured on prosecutions with regards to state capture cases and, the recommendations that was made by the Chief Justice. So, on the other hand, the NPA is the only prosecuting body in South Africa. It's the only agency that has got a constitutional mandate to do prosecutions in the country. So they will have to step up, and I do believe that they will. We have seen a few cases, in court already. We've heard the NDPP saying that within the next 6 months we will see about 9 cases that will go to court, state capture cases. So, like I said, the NPA will be measured, their successes in due time, with the way that they handle these state capture matters.
There's also the Hawks. So we have a lot of information. That information needs to be presented to the courts in a legal way, and the Hawks have to do that. In a way, as you say, it's a test of the NPA. It's a test of the entire criminal justice system. What happens if the system fails this test?
First of all, like you said, the Hawks must, prepare the dockets for the NPA. We also have the newly established investigating directorate that's taking, the position that they can do investigations now on behalf of the NPA. So between those two agencies, they will have to present prepared dockets, prepared within the guidelines and procedures of the Criminal Justice Act, Criminal Procedures Act rather, and then we will only be able to see successful prosecutions. It will all depend on the preparation of the dockets.
Politicians have a lot of power over structural change. I mean, the recommendations around how to beef up Parliament, recommendations to have a new sort of permanent body, recommendations even to have an election of the President directly by voters rather than through Parliament and political parties. Do you trust the politicians to take reform seriously?
That's a very good question, Stephen. We have seen, for the last decade or so that politicians, especially members of Parliament, towing the party line. We will only have to see and hope that, people will put country before party, especially the members of Parliament. But I think it is also necessary that the people or individuals who has been implicated in the report, that they should vacate their positions during these processes. And that is not, for law enforcement agencies or the prosecution authority to do. That, points to the leaders of this country, to cabinet and to the president.
It also requires perhaps a desire from civil society, from South Africans, from all of us, to make sure that change happens, that this doesn't happen again. It's not just about the politicians, it's not just about the judges, not just about the Hawks and the NPA, it's about everyone.
Yes, absolutely. I think, we have put the recommendations of the Chief Justice into two categories. A reactive category where I think, this is all to do with prosecutions, investigations, professional oversight bodies that must come to the party and do their bit as recommended by the Chief Justice. And then there's a proactive category where new bodies to be established, and I think and to really look at corruption. We know that corruption is just a synonym for state capture, but it is still carrying on. It's still being very alive in the country. And there, in that space, is where civil society will play definitely a very, very important role in the future, to form part and to be part of these structures and to prevent, these kind of acts to reoccur.
Rudi Heyneke, thank you, Portfolio Manager for Transport and State Capture at Organisation Undoing Tax Abuse. As you can see, of course, suffering from the stage 2 load shedding around the country at the moment.